Hey there, I'm Jamie and welcome to my channel and welcome back to another what to wear Q&A video. I'm actually calling these style Q&A videos now because that seemed to be a better title. And what I do on this video is I answer questions that you guys left me on some of my other videos, and you put Q&A colon in front of that question, so I would answer it on this video. I have several that I need to answer today, and I think I can go through these pretty quickly, but I do want to say that this is not a very heavy photo video. This is to have a conversation with you and answer your questions. So if you don't see a lot of examples or photos of styling or anything like that in this video, it's because that's really not what this is for. If there is content that you want to see and you ask me about in this video, then I will create content on that if it's something that I think everyone else wants. And a lot of my content has come from you guys making suggestions for me, which I really appreciate. And I appreciate that you really want answers to some of these questions, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. And I also ask that if you have an answer for this question, go ahead and answer it in the comments too. I would like this to be more of a community effort where you guys help answer these questions if you have solved the same problem, because most of the time it is some type of style problem that someone is having. So we're going to go ahead and jump into these questions. So I have several questions in here from Nancy, and so I'm going to start with her questions and I'm just going to run through them. And the first one that she asked was, please do a video or maybe include flat shoe styling with wide leg boot cut or flare pants. I used to always love my heels with the pant styles I listed but not able to wear anymore. What about any loafers? Not the big chunky heel ones. Any suggestions? I may not be alone on this one. And she's probably not. I actually get a lot of comments that people cannot wear heels anymore on some of my videos, and I do think there are a lot of great options in flat shoes. And I don't think you have to go totally flat. You could do something with somewhat of a sole, like loafers usually have a little bit of a heel. It's less than an inch, and it just adds a little bit more substance, sometimes more than just like your ballet flats do. But anytime you are styling a wider leg opening, like a flare, boot cut, or wide leg with something that is flat, the problem is the shoe sometimes will get completely covered by that flat, depending on how wide the opening is and how big your feet are. But the best thing that you can do is find a flat that has an extended toe box. So it's either an extended square toe, an extended pointed toe, and there are a lot of options. If you have bunions, which I do have small bunions on my feet for working retail so many years, you can find some that have a wider toe box where it hits that part of your foot and then extends out with a pointed toe. That always looks the best with wider leg openings, because if you get rounded toes and shorter toes, your feet look a little bit stubby, and sometimes the leg opening completely covers it. So that is my recommendation if you are going to wear anything that has a wider leg opening. I can try to do a styling video with those leg openings and flats, and it may not be total outfits. It may just be showing what different ones look like. So if that is something that you want to see, let me know. I can actually add it to some of my spring content that will be coming. So just let me know in the comments below if you struggle with this too, and if you need total outfit suggestions, that would be a whole nother video. Okay, so Nancy also asked, I recently bought a pair of straight leg jeans with the raw hem. Looks like the hem has let out a few times and the white strings are hanging down in spots. Do I or should I cut off the strings or go with it? So I do think that's personal preference, and I think I answered this for her already, but I thought I would read it in case someone else had that question. It's really personal preference. I don't like having a bunch hanging down, especially if I have some that are really long. So I just snip them off, or sometimes I'll just kind of pull at them so they'll naturally just kind of break off in a spot, so it doesn't look like I have cut all the way around and they look all the same, because you want them to look like they are naturally that way. And so sometimes I'll just pull off some of the longer ends so it still stays with that kind of raw looks. Okay, so this next question is also from Nancy, and she watched my Frumpy to Fabulous video, which is about trendy outfits. So if you haven't seen that, I'll link it here if you want to take a look at it. But she wanted to know how I would style a cropped cardigan that was in that video, because she has a couple of them. They're all over the mall. She said she's 5 feet, a pear shape, and she cannot wear heels. So she wants to know how she would wear this crop cardigan. First of all, I think if you're pear shaped, a shorter cardigan or a longer cardigan that comes past your hips are the two best options. So I think you're good with the shorter cardigans. And I think pairing the shorter cardigans with the bottoms to create balance for you would be to add something that is not a skinny jean on the bottom. I would do a straight leg, something flowy, a boot cut or a flare. And you can put a pair of pointed toe flats with these style jeans. Now the wide legs, because you asked that question about the flats, wide legs are sometimes harder depending on how wide it is. I do think they look a little bit better with something that has more substance to it, but if you had a cropped wide leg, that would be great with a pointed toe flat. And I do think you can do A-line midi length skirts with this, or even a fit and flare or an A-line dress with the cardigan over it. So I think you have options here. And if you just have the cardigan and don't have a set, and you don't have something to wear underneath it, I would find maybe a lace cami that you could wear, or something that didn't come too much longer than the cardigan, or something that you would tuck in that could go underneath that cardigan. So I hope that's helpful. If anybody else wears these with certain things in your pear shape, please let Nancy know below what you like wearing with them. So I really love this next question. And again, it's from Nancy. I really think she's my biggest fan. And she said, what is the difference between leggings and jeggings? And I thought this was a great question, and other people might be wondering what it is. So leggings are just that stretchy material. Usually they're like a cotton and spandex or a nylon or a polyester, where they are usually black or some other colors, and they just look like a regular material. Where your jeggings are actually leggings that look like jeans. So they just look like really fitted jeans. They may not be made out of denim material. They may just be made out of some of the same material, but have a denim look to them. So that's why they have the jeggings, the J on the front, because they look like jeans as opposed to something that's just a pant legging. So this is something that I had to learn how to do, because I got this faux leather coat that I had no idea how to get the wrinkles out of. And Nancy said she had just gotten some faux leather pants, that she loves them, but she can't get the folds in the fabric from shipping out of them. And she's been hanging them, and they still have a few wrinkles. And I get it, because this is a really hard material to get wrinkles out of. And I had a lot of people give me suggestions, because I got a trench coat that I just could not get the wrinkles out of, and I still can't get them all out of it. I think it's just going to take some time. But the best suggestion that I got was to use my hair dryer, because I used a steamer and it didn't work. I tried outside the coat and inside the coat steaming it, and I still could not get them out. So if you have a hair dryer that gets really hot, you can, what I did is I hung the coat and I pulled on the material to straighten it out, and then I just held that dryer over it. Now I was afraid to leave it for too long. I didn't want to catch it on fire. So I just literally got it to where it was really, really warm on, you know, the faux leather was really, really warm, and I would let loose on the material just to see if it was coming out. So I just think something like that will take time. And I don't think leaving it hanging when you take a shower works. It did not work for me. It might work for other lighter materials, but I think it would take a long time for faux leather. I just think you're going to have to wear the garment, and over time they are going to just eventually fall out. So that is the bad thing about that sort of, I think it's just plastic. So I just think it's really hard to get out. So at one point we had a conversation about pantyhose on my channel, because I was getting questions about pantyhose and tights, and now I have a question about stockings. And so this question is, I'm going to read it, but I don't know how to pronounce the name that they put on it, so you'll see it as it comes up. But it says stockings. I've seen the pantyhose and tights videos, but I'm curious as to when stockings should be worn. And you know, I don't really think there is any specifics of when any of those should be worn. But if you're wondering about stockings and don't know the difference, stockings are considered hose, but they just don't have the upper body part. They come up to your thigh and kind of stick to your thigh. And they're still called hose, but they're stockings instead of pantyhose or tights. And so I think you can wear them at any time that you really need them. I don't think pantyhose or stockings are very cool if you want to know what's on trend, as opposed to tights, which can be pretty trendy if you add a cool color to your outfit, or they can just make some winter outfits look really good as opposed to just having bare legs. So I do love black tights. I wear black tights with a lot of things in the winter time, but I really think it's personal preference of when you wear any of them. Now for a question from Pajama Mama, and this one actually I have gotten from clients in the past. And I do think this is something that people struggle with as they gain or lose weight. And I'm not going to read her entire question because it's pretty long and pretty personal. But she basically wants to know that after you've lost weight, if you should donate your clothes, or if you should try to shrink them in the dryer or wear them as pajamas. So I really think your best option is to keep some of your favorite things that you think will last in your closet, that in case you were to gain weight again, and that's her question, like, do I keep some of these things just in case I gain the weight back? Because there are things that can happen in our life that do cause that to happen, and then we wish we had those clothes. I just think that you have to do what you think is best for you. And I think if you've lost weight and you have larger clothes, then you can hang on to some of those, especially if they're really nice items. They're classic pieces that you can wear again and again, and you can just put them in storage, kind of like when you had children and you saved a lot of those clothes in case you had another child and they could wear those clothes. So I don't think it's bad to store some of those and keep them. I don't think shrinking them or wearing them as pajamas or anything is the greatest idea. So if you don't want them hanging around and would just buy new clothes, then go ahead and donate them and help someone else out. So those are all the questions for today. If you have any feedback that you want to give about those to each person, then please put it in the comments below. And if you have any questions that came to your mind about fashion or style that you want to know, or if it comes in your head on any of my other videos, just put Q&A : in front of that question and I'll answer it on the next one. And I hope you guys really love participating in these. I love answering your questions. I think it's a lot of fun and it just creates a good conversation and community, and you guys give me a lot of great ideas here, so don't stop putting them on my channel. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.